Welcome back to the Shortcut Live, our daily live show now in New York City, where we have main character energy devoted entirely to tech. I'm joined with Adam, who's in the UK, and then Max and Kevin, who are live streaming with me from New York City, our brand new Manhattan office. It's a work in progress. You may hear some echoes, you may hear some construction, but we're here to talk about tech. We have a lot of people joining us on all platforms: X, YouTube, Instagram, on Substack, where we're the #1 consumer tech site on Substack. So do subscribe. And we want you to drop comments on whichever platform you're on. So we're going to go over a couple stories today about consumer tech. We're going to dive into Apple's roadmap for 2026, what to expect from them. Break some breaking news. Sony and TCL have some partnership program going on. So basically, Sony TV and Bravia TVs are going to be made by TCL. There's kind of a split partnership there, which is very interesting. Kind of the end of an era for some of the Bravia TVs, but we'll see what to make of that. We have some at the MSI Claw A8, a gaming handheld. We have some in-studio hands-on with that. Nomad accessory, a little discount for our viewers. Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra rumors, and 2 TV streaming news stories, and more if we have time. We have an hour here to talk about tech. So let's dive into Apple's roadmap. Max, you wrote a story about this iPhone Fold. Tell us about what to expect, something brand new from Apple this year.
Yeah, this is like the big one for the year, I feel like, from Apple. This is like their most anticipated product, probably the last maybe 4 or 5 years. The iPhone's gotten a little bit stale. Everybody's getting a little bit tired of the form factor and stuff. They're finally going to dive into foldables. We expect them to come out with it sometime in September, around the same time as iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max. It's going to take a lot of design cues from the Google Pixel Fold, the original Pixel Fold. It should be shaped sort of like a Passport. If you look at a Passport, open it up, it's about roughly the same shape and size as the iPhone Fold's going to be.
So less tall than the Samsung phone and
Yes.
wider. So like a Passport, like you mentioned. That seems to be the go-to. Even Samsung is rumored to come out with a Passport style foldable later this year.
It's a very good form factor. I know we both tested the Pixel Fold when it came out. I was a huge fan of the Passport style design because there's something nice about not having a humongous phone when it's closed. Like, it's spacious, but it's not huge by any means.
And credit where credit is due. There's a video that was playing from Front Page Tech, which is like a leaks and rumors website. But they kind of mocked together or assembled what this iPhone could look like. It, again, from either leaks or just looking at what the Pixel Fold looks like.
Yeah, we don't know entirely what it's going to look like. This is a rough idea of maybe what it's going to look like.
Right. And it should come out in September.
Yes, we're looking at September. It's probably going to have around a 5.5 to 6 inch screen on the front, and then it's going to open up to about an 8 inch screen on the inside. And
So
I've been it's like folding an iPad Mini in half.
Right. I've been waiting for that moment where I don't want to carry around an iPad Mini all the time because you need a bag for that, right? You can't stow that in a pocket. So that's definitely the big hardware get for this year from Apple. Then we have MacBook, iPhone 18 Pro, and maybe AirTags 2. That's long been rumored. I'm kind of curious what they could do better with an AirTag, but the MacBooks, I mean, we should expect a new chipset or, something in the Pro versions of the MacBook. I would like kind of upgrade to what I have currently.
Yeah, no,
Do you think they're gonna redo the design at all? Because how many years?
Sounds like it. It sounds like it should get thinner. It's probably going to be equally as heavy. It may have a dynamic island, which is the big rumor. They're going to get away with the notch and then put maybe Face ID in it for the first time.
That's significant because that's long been part of the iPhone.
Yes, that's like a massive deal for the Mac because it's never been on the Mac before. It's only been on iPhone and iPad so far.
I'll be curious with that if they keep Touch ID around in addition to Face ID, right? Because I kind of want both of those things for different situations.
Yeah, like the iPhone Fold is supposed to resurrect Touch ID on the iPhone.
Nice.
So it seems like Apple's comfortable with keeping both security platforms around. They don't want to necessarily replace one with the other. So I guess at some point they could do a product with both built into it. I imagine the Mac would be a natural fit for that.
Right.
Like on a Mac Studio or an iMac.
Well, like Face ID has taken over pretty much everything now. Like only the iPad regular has a Touch ID still, right?
No, that's
iPad
basically
It
Air.
hasn't fully died yet. And
Right.
I think that's like part of Apple's strategy is like, hey, let's just keep this thing around, at least on like one product that we're shipping so that people know we still make it.
Yeah.
Or to just, maybe keep suppliers happy or something like that. So they can go back and be like, hey, we have another thing we want to do touch
Oh
ID.
yeah.
Like the Fold's not going to have Face ID. There's nowhere to put the sensors or anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably going to be built into the power button. Maybe the Mac has both. It could have
Yeah.
both. I've
It could
heard
have both,
rumors,
definitely.
floating in both directions. So
There's
we'll have
definitely more room on a Mac for all this stuff. I also wonder if they're gonna switch to tandem OLED, kind of like iPad Pro. That'd be a nice upgrade.
Allegedly, yes. I think the screen is like the OLED MacBook Pro has been the big headline. And that's another thing we've been looking forward to for this year. They will ditch mini LED, go with OLED. It probably will be tandem OLED, but right now it's a bit too unclear as to whether they'll stick, which is just like a normal OLED screen or not.
And for anybody commenting on the various platforms, tandem OLED is just like a bigger or better, brighter screen, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's bigger, brighter.
So
It's twice as bright because it's two different OLEDs stacked on top of each other.
I'm going to make a prediction. I'm going to make a prediction
Go
about
for
the
it, Ab.
AirTags 2. I think we might see GTA 6 before we see the AirTag 2. Who do you think is going to come first?
Put that on Polymarket. I mean, that's a
good idea.
bet I'm willing to take. Yeah, we may see 2 or 3 more delays for GTA 6 before we see.
I'm
AirTags
also
too.
like very curious to see if AirTag's gonna be still a coin shaped thing, or it's gonna be like a card, kind of like
Right.
the new Nomad card. There's another, it's not coming.
Yeah, there's a couple others that make those cards that are a different form factor, which I really like. So will Apple stick to that form factor, or what I want is like, tell me if something gets stolen and it's in an apartment complex, tell me like how high above sea level compared to where I am, where it is, right? That would be an interesting thing. I don't know if they could do that, but I would love to see that. That would be a generational leap for AirTags, especially when stuff gets stolen and it's not just in a flat plane. So it could be super interesting. Over the next few weeks, Apple is going to launch a couple things. First, something that did just come out, Apple immersive NBA Lakers games for the Apple Vision Pro. So if you own an Apple Vision Pro, it is a cool device. It's not for everybody, but you can watch Lakers games through your Vision Pro in this like 3D environment. We're going to test that out. It's only available in the Los Angeles region. That is for anybody who's familiar with U.S. Blackout restrictions for sportscasters and different channels. It's tied to the cable company there, so that's why you can only stream it live from the LA region. But we're gonna look at it in post after it goes live and check that out. We brought our Apple Vision Pros to the new office, so definitely a cool experience. It's like you have courtside seats. That's the main advantage. So that's what they could be known for when they roll out this technology. If they come out with an Apple Vision Pro 2, an Apple Vision Pro Air, or even the glasses, we want that type of experience where you have, it technically still cheaper than buying courtside seats. Just get an Apple Vision Pro. We'll see if that's something that appeals to an audience. What's that?
You could buy an Apple Vision Pro.
Yeah.
Get this thing, and it's still cheaper than courtside seat.
Yeah, courtside seats, no joke for Lakers games. January 28th, that's the next Apple product that's launching. It's technically a software. It's Apple Creative Studio. It's trying to take on Adobe. We still like our Adobe suite. We use that on a daily basis for producing the shortcut. So things like Photoshop and Premiere Pro. They're coming in with something that's $129 a year, $13 a month, but it gets as cheap as $3 a month for college students and teachers. So during the 4 years of college, if you're a teacher, you can get it for next to nothing. It's not as powerful right now as what Adobe offers with its Creative Suite, but you can still outright purchase it. But AI features, Max, they're going to be locked behind this monthly fee.
That is just the way of the future, isn't it?
I mean,
Yeah.
reoccurring revenue is
Yeah.
that
Everything is a subscription.
Yes. Oh yeah. No. So like with Creator Studio, you get access to like a bunch of like extra AI. It's not necessarily AI slop, but like there's like a couple of things I'm like, I don't know if this is necessarily helpful. We have to get Creator Studio and test it out.
right on the 28th.
I think the huge draw though is the fact that you get Final Cut Pro for $13 a month. I think that alone is going to be enough to convince people to subscribe.
Right. Pixelmator Pro, it's very popular, but like Final Cut Pro, if you have not experienced it,
It's Final Cut. It's always locked behind like 3, 4. I forget the full.
it's
price.
either 3 or 4.
Pay like.
I paid for it 10 years ago, and it's still just worth its weight in gold.
Yeah, but there's plenty of people that don't have access because they just can't afford that huge lump sum. But in your mind, it's like, oh, I could pay $13 a month, and then you get access to everything plus extra AI features.
Right.
I think the bigger deal is also like the student pricing.
$3.
Get them early.
Yeah, insane. Get them in early, jack up the price later. But $3 at least for now, a very appealing offer.
That's how Apple got me back in the day. I mean, I remember having a MacBook, and then by the time I left university, I was just completely in the ecosystem, and it took me a long time to wrestle my way out. And then I came back, and now I have an Apple Watch and AirPods and an iMac, and I'm an Apple TV, and I'm back in. So
It's a smart play. My sister is a teacher, and the classrooms all get iPads, right? They switched to Chromebooks for a while. They went from iPads to Chromebooks, back to iPads. It's getting that younger generation used to your ecosystem. It's a very smart play, even if it's done at a cheap rate, because then you graduate and all of a sudden you want an iPad. So you want that ecosystem. Whoever owns that audience is very fascinating.
Yep.
February, Adam, we are going to get a new Apple Arcade game, one of the best strategy games, or at least that's what you called it in a headline. Tell us about the game that Apple Arcade is going to get.
Yeah, it's going to get Sid Meier's Civilization 7, which, if anyone's familiar with any strategy games, the Civ games are fantastic. So to be able to play such an engrossing tactical game on your phone or on your iPad, it crosses over like a lot of Apple Arcade games do, is excellent. And I think Apple Arcade is it's massively underrated. They're getting more and more console-like quality games now, particularly as each new iPhone is really starting to close the gap a little bit. Obviously, it's not quite there, but it's doing amazing things. I mean, I'm still rocking my iPhone 13 Pro, and it's still pretty good for gaming, but the new ones, like, they're just blowing them away. So, yep, Civilization 7 is coming as part of your subscription, along with loads of other things. I think last month or so, there was a Krabby Patty Pursuit 2. Don't knock it until you've tried it. The SpongeBob games are pretty good, actually.
Is that like a GTA like? Is that like a GTA like or?
No, it's
Rogue
kind of
City?
like a side-scrolling puzzle platformer, but the visuals are really nice, and I think it has the original voice cast as well, which always is good because sometimes when you come across a Scottish Mr. Krabs or something, it throws you out of the bikini bottom vibes.
Yeah.
What else is Tom Kenny doing anyway besides voicing SpongeBob?
Yeah, well,
Whole
this is
life
it.
anyway. So that's really cool.
Very cool. I have gotten addicted to the Jeopardy game that they came out with. Like, it's a daily Jeopardy game, almost in the style of Wordle, where you only play a limited number of clues. It's fun.
Tell us your age without telling us your age, Matt.
As
The fact that he still plays Wordle.
Wordle's great. My entire family plays it. So there you go. And the last thing, written by Max, Apple selects Google Gemini Siri powered by Google Gemini. Tell us about that.
The most underrated big new thing that Apple's coming out with this year is their overhauled Siri experience. We've been waiting for this since 2024, when Apple originally promised Apple Intelligence features on the iPhone across all their platforms and stuff. They had to delay it because they have so many internal problems developing AI. They've had a bunch of executive shuffles. They couldn't get their LLMs to work. So now they're just like, hey, all right, Google has the technology. We're just going to use that, actually. So now they're just going to license Gemini and use Gemini's tech on their own servers and secure it the way Apple wants and ship it as the brand new Siri.
The fact that they didn't go with OpenAI's ChatGPT is very telling about where I guess the thinking is and where the AI power is.
I find it so curious that they just went with Gemini. Although I guess it does make some sort of sense because they have the deal with Google Search to make it the default search engine for Safari.
Yeah.
So it's in like a similar vein. It's going to cost them about $1 billion a year to do it too.
And Microsoft
Yeah.
Microsoft are in bed with OpenAI as well, so maybe there was something there.
Yeah. No, totally. It might be a conflict, right?
That's like a drop in a bucket for Apple, though. $1
I
billion
know.
a year.
Oh, it is. It is.
Yeah.
That's a rounding error for them.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting.
I also think it's curious because, like, they had partnership with OpenAI for very early on,
Yep.
and then they kind of put some more roadblocks. They kind of like more separated it, and now they've made this change.
Yeah. Before we get to that TCL Sony news, Kevin, you had the experience sometime with the MSI Claw A8 gaming handheld. Briefly tell us about that. What are the specs? What's inside that gaming handheld? I think you have it with you.
Actually, you have it running Battlefield right now. Literally a live demo. It's running about 40 FPS.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Can't really see it. Yeah, it's blown out, but it's running well. It looks great. Feels great. So MSI has been doing gaming handhelds for a little bit. They have their Intel version. This is the Lunar Lake Claw A8 AI, and this one is their new AMD first ever AMD chip card one. It's kind of mostly the same. Obviously, looks the same size, 8-inch screen. Only the real difference, the processor inside. Yeah, same memory, same battery, 80-watt battery, 24 gigabytes of RAM. 1 terabyte SSD, all that stuff. Yeah, it's really a processor.
And it's a little over $1,000, right?
Yes, it's $1,159.
49?
Or 49.
49, yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
It is a lot of, you have to really want to take your Steam library and all your PC games on the road, but it's more than twice what a Nintendo Switch 2 is, but it just offers a different experience.
It's also like more expensive than the Asus ROG Xbox Ally, which is $1,000 flat right now, or less actually, because it's on sale right now.
And on there you have the kill switch case from
the kill switch
Dbrand.
case from Dbrand, which adds a nice like rubbery grip around it, and all you need is like a little plastic cover screen, and you're ready to go.
And then you have the kickstand on back, which I like.
Also that's one crucial thing I missed on the Legion Go, which I also have. I got a lot of handhelds here. Sorry, Adam.
Yeah, when I come to the US, I'm definitely staying over at Kevin's because he has every single PC portable at the moment. I only have the Steam Deck OLED still going strong, but obviously that's a fantastic handheld. But yeah, MSI is really making some waves at the moment. That looks like another excellent performant handheld.
I will say, everything about it just feels right. The 8-inch screen, the controls. It's almost like boxy.
It looks like
but
it
feels
nice
great.
Factor.
Yeah, it's like gives you a nice purchase right here.
Yeah, nice ergonomics on that.
I just started testing. Did some Helldivers, did some Battlefield last night. Very late last night. It runs well.
You want to try Balatro to really push it.
Oh yes.
Get it 100.
Get the multipliers on my poker game. My weird
Exactly, 120 FPS.
Too many calculations. Now, one thing I'm very excited for this is MSI has classically had very good battery power. Their AI tuning, it's pretty great. Like it gives you an hour, 2 hours more battery than Lenovo, than Asus. So that's where the most testing will happen for me.
Nice.
It's already got great FPS.
I mean, we don't have a Steam Deck 2 yet, so that is, this is something that kind of pushes the PC gaming and handheld market a little bit further while everybody waits for the Steam Deck 2 for Valve to release that. So super interesting. And I feel like it's going to take a while for Steam Deck 2 to materialize.
Yeah. So I think, they got to do their Steam machine, Steam frame, Steam controller.
They got a lot.
Yeah.
A lot in the pipeline. Speaking of something in the pipeline currently, Nomad has just launched a metal Apple Watch band that glows in the dark. And our latest fashion accessory is right here.
Ooh.
It is the Nomad Apple Watch band. All right. So it's the Stratos band in icy blue. And you have it on, Max?
That's it.
Yes, I do.
It looks metallic.
It's
Yeah.
very metallic.
So
So the big thing with their Stratos band is they wanted to design something that looked premium enough for the office, but was like flexible enough to like go to the gym with. So it has titanium lugs, just like the regular titanium watch band, but underneath are their rubber links. So they're all colored just like the regular sport band. It feels like wearing a sport band on your wrist. It's flexible, breathable. It's like one of the most unique Apple Watch bands you can get. And this one glows in the dark. This is their signature icy blue glow finish. If you expose it enough to UV light, it's going to glow in the dark. So perfect for going to the club afterward if you wanted to. It's a very, I feel like this one's going to sell out very quickly because all of their glow in the dark stuff goes so fast.
Speaking of which, they sent us a promo code, shortcut 30, no the in front of there for a change. So if you type in shortcut 30, you should get 30% off of all Nomad products until the end of February.
That's right.
So we had Noah on, the founder of Nomad, on the podcast last 2 weeks ago, right, when we were at CES.
Yeah.
And he dropped that discount code. It's now active. So if you're looking for Nomad products or anything, just type in shortcut 30 in the promo code box and you'll get 30% off. It's kind of a nice thing.
Matt, friends of the show, very cool band. Matt, you have one. I have to get yours set up.
I know. I need to unbox it and actually put it on because this Apple Watch Sport Band's not really doing it. So.
I think I'm rocking the same. I need to change mine.
Yeah, we got to get some in.
Adam.
Yeah.
We got to send some stuff over to the UK.
I do have one question about the glow of the band.
Yes.
From like, say, nightclub rave to running in the dark, how bright is it in the dark?
This one gets very bright. So they had the original version would get bright, but like kind of like glow stick bright.
Mm-hmm.
This one's like 4 or 5 times as bright.
Wow.
It's very bright.
So you could like go running at night with it.
You definitely could. Maybe not this one in particular because of the titanium sort of blocks it.
Yeah.
But they have a version that's just the rubber glow in the dark portion.
Okay.
That one gets very bright.
Sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very cool. Yeah. Enjoy your 30% off if you take advantage of shortcut 30. So no the in front of there. So I know a lot of people will take advantage of that as we
Trying to save you money.
Yeah, that's what we're here for. We're here to show off products. Kevin showed off the MSI Claw A8, and then Max is showing off some new Nomad products. So it's kind of like an interactive Best Buy. Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
So we bring the store to you. So very cool. All right, next on the rundown is something that we're going to probably cover. Not right now, which is usually in like 3 days. We would have Samsung Unpacked.
It feels very weird to not be running to a Samsung review right now, I have to say.
Like I'm ready to go to San Francisco right now, but it's like,
And here we are.
it might not
in
be for
New
another
York
month.
City. Yeah.
Right. So that's what the rumors currently are. Nothing confirmed yet, of course, but likely to launch in February. Max, you wrote a story that took off this past weekend on theshortcut.com, a little website I like, and it was doing nice traffic. Tell us what went into your story. What do we know about Samsung's new phone that's, not days away, but seems like weeks away?
Definitely probably a month and a half out at this point, at least in terms of the ship date, maybe a month before they announce it. We have to wait and see. But yeah, Galaxy S26, we got a lot of questions about this when we were live from CES.
Yes.
I was very impressed. I thought we would get more questions about TVs and robots and stuff. Everyone's like, where's the S26 at? Like, what is happening with this thing?
Mm-hmm.
So I wrote up a couple articles to, sort of summarize everything, and they absolutely took off. There's a lot of curiosity about these phones. I think because people are like, wait, is it actually just going to be the same thing as last year? Short answer is basically yes. S26 Ultra is going to kind of look the same. The corners might be a bit rounder, but like same screen size, which is 6.9 inches. So still nice and big and spacious and everything. So going to be an S Pen. The 200 megapixel camera may wind up getting a revamp of some kind.
I think that's needed. The cameras remain the same for a little while.
All of the cameras on every Samsung phone needs to be gutted and replaced with something else.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they've been using like the same sensors for like 3 or 4 generations.
And they've been mostly focused on the software. So we're like, all right, this is the year
some fresh
we expect
hardware.
new cameras.
Exactly. So we may be getting a new main cameras on both the Ultra and the regular S26 and 26 Plus.
Okay.
Those ones will just be 50 megapixels. The Ultra will be the only one to get 200. Better zoom over there, obviously, as well, up to 100x, I believe, for the S26. Battery will probably stay the same at 5,000 milliamp hours. They're not going to do the cool silicon carbon thing.
In this picture that we have on the screen right now, you see the S Pen. Is that going anywhere? Because
No.
it departed from the Fold
Right.
7, right? From the Fold 6 to the Fold 7, we lost that. But we're expecting to see the S Pen remade.
Will be on the S26 Ultra, yes. There's zero indication that it's going to go away, at least for this generation. I guess Samsung may wind up getting rid of it in the S27, but right now, all signs are it's going to be on the Ultra.
That's good news. That's one of the reasons a vocal minority of people stick with Samsung devices. They like that S Pen. We
There were
heard
a
about
lot of people that were upset that they got rid of it on the Fold 7.
Yeah.
We heard that like from our own comment section.
Yeah.
So it's nice that they're going to keep it around for the Ultra.
Also,
As for the oh yeah, go ahead, Kev.
Also, like one thing that was missing this year or last year rather was that you can't use it as a Bluetooth remote for your camera anymore, right?
Right. Yeah. That was something that I feel like a small number of people actually used it beyond saying, oh, cool, it works. It's a party trick. But it's still something taken away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think like a lot of us were just like, it's like kind of cool. But like there are people that are actively using these features in their day-to-day life. It's not like a lot of people, but they are dedicated to the S Pen and everything that it does.
The other thing that I'm excited about for this phone is Qi charging. It's a Qi 2, which means it may be not Qi 2 ready. But the difference is it may have MagSafe attached to it. So you have a tripod or some accessories.
Exactly.
We have a tripod somewhere around here where you're just like, the head of it is a magnet. Love that feature. I can only use it on an iPhone and the latest Pixel series, the Pixel 10 series.
Right.
We need more Android phones to have MagSafe because Apple's had it for years now.
Apple's had it for almost 6 years, going on 6 years. The Pixel's the only other Android phone to have Qi 2 charging.
And that was just a couple months ago. That was October of
August.
Yeah, right. They moved their date up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it seems like it was almost going to happen on the S25. It didn't happen. So it's hopefully going to come to the S26.
The big thing I always hear from executives is like, oh, why don't you guys include Qi 2? They're just like, we wanted to make a bigger battery. We didn't have room for the magnet.
They didn't have room for it. It's like, you did.
Okay, well,
Just make that phone a little bit thicker.
just like a little bit. Like we don't really need
like Apple has-
super. Exactly. Like we don't need like a thin phone every generation. Give me something
like-
instant thick with Qi 2 in it.
I feel like Apple has to sort of direct lie to magnet manufacturers for an extra thin, like neodymium magnet or something.
They definitely need something to get around it because it is like the standard now, Qi 2. So hopefully that comes to the S26 and S26 Ultra. It's sounding like the standard S26 may get a little bit bigger this time around. The screen size might grow by like 1/10 of an inch, at least it's like what I've been seeing. S26 Plus will still be 6.7 inches. Both those phones will have similar batteries to last year, similar camera setups. Not a lot's going to change. There was a big panic within Samsung. They were going to try to revamp the whole lineup this year. That has not happened. They had to go back to the drawing board after they were going to do a new S26 Edge to, one up the S25 Edge. Scrap that idea because it sold so bad. So now they're just doing the same thing they did last year, basically. So it's going to be a bit of like a middling year, but new Samsung phones are exciting. So at least they're on the S Pen.
And they're always very popular. They always have a lot of deals attached to them. It's one thing I appreciate about Samsung phones and Samsung launches is that they usually have boosted trade-in rates.
They always have the best trade-ins
at the beginning, which it always ticks me off when I see, whether it's the iPhone or another phone, when the deals come out like 3 months later, and you're like, I could have had a freebie with that, but I'm an early adopter. You kind of screw over the early adopters. So Samsung does a good job at taking care of their early adopters. I've noticed that over the last couple of years. And then pre-launch, after pre-launch, some of the trade-in deals get reduced, so they go away. So it incentivizes you to buy during the pre-release or right before it launches. So during
it's always better to buy like right off the bat. Yeah,
it's an interesting, different way to do it than most retailers. Like, with video games, for example, Adam, this, we see the game discounted by like half
Yeah.
after 3 months sometimes.
Unless it's Nintendo, where their first party titles never go on sale. But there is a good reason for that. It's basically because, a bit like Disney, it's very rare you'll find Disney Blu-rays and DVDs on sale because they believe it devalues the product over time, which is fair enough. So the biggest discount you'll probably find if it is a digital sale is 33%. But that sounds a lot, but when it's coming off $70, it doesn't go very far. But
Absolutely.
that's what you get.
Take us to some TV streaming news.
Yes.
We have, let's start with the Amazon one. So Amazon has 2 new TV series coming, and the first one is God of War. We got a little bit of news out there. Tell us what you wrote about and who they cast.
Yeah, so we have our Kratos, who is the main character of God of War, the Ghost of Sparta, as he's also called. He's being played by Ryan Hurst. Now, if you don't know who Ryan Hurst is, I honestly didn't. I'll be honest.
I don't either,
because
so go for it.
he starred in quite a few shows from FX, like Sons of Anarchy, The Walking Dead. He's been in Bosch, which I think I've watched 1 season of. I should know him from that. And Bates Motel. But what's interesting is he was also the voice of Thor in God of War Ragnarok, which was I reviewed that on the shortcut a long time ago. Good game. Not the best game, but a good game, a solid sequel. And he was very good in that. The voice acting is excellent in that game, and he does a really good job of bringing that character to life. So, video games, and when it comes to adaptations, the audience is very tribal. We're very quick to let TVs and Hollywood studios know when they get it wrong, i.e. see Sonic and the monstrosity that nearly was, until they changed it and made him great. And Ryan Hurst has gone down very well. So we'll have to see how the overall TV series of God of War turns out.
Yeah.
When you played the God of War game, do you have, or maybe from your collection of knowledge, any indication that that game has been enhanced on PS5 Pro versus, it's such a dynamic, action-packed game. Any indication that that's like something I should go back to now that I have a PlayStation 5 Pro?
I think what they did for the Pro, which is fair enough, is if you've got a VRR TV, they unlock the frame rate so it can hit above 60 FPS, so it'll probably average around 80. So you're going to get a smoother experience, a bit more of a responsive experience. God of War Ragnarok, as I kind of brought up in my review, is a lovely looking game, but you can kind of see that it was still hampered by being cross-platform with the PS4. There's a lot of things in there that they couldn't take those bigger leaps as I personally wanted them to do. But yeah, if you got the PS5 Pro, you're going to be playing the best looking version, unless you own a PC where you can make it look even shinier and even more crystal clear, and you can really take in Kratos's big bushy beard in 4K, 100 and whatever FPS you've got.
I think pretty soon one of our first TVs that we're going to test in this new office space is the TCL
QM 9K.
Yeah, the X11L.
Oh yes, that too.
That too. Just a lot of TVs,
coming in. Yeah.
That's one we saw we really liked at CES, but that is obviously supports VRR, so we're going to definitely take advantage of testing out the PlayStation 5 Pro to see how well both the gaming system works, but also how well these new TVs work. So that's why we have the office space. We're looking to have 6 TVs at once, testing side by side. So we have a space, a little nook, a large.
They're all gonna be side by side with 2 couches in between.
Yep. So we're gonna have a number of couches. So Adam, you got to visit from the UK one day soon.
That sounds like a bit of a dream Mario Kart world setup. I'm not gonna lie.
Little knockout
Oh
mode.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Little fun story about Adam. He played Kevin and I in Mario Kart. Later, his time, right? We're like, we're gonna play this game. It just came out. Nintendo Switch 2 just came out. We start playing. I'm playing at home. Kevin's playing at his home. Adam is playing at his home. It's a little bit later, not too late. Where
I was in bed,
which
in
is
handheld mode.
He
he was in bed at 8 p.m.
Yeah, it wasn't even a real game to him.
So,
it was just nothing.
Chaotic game because it's Mario Kart. And as I'm crossing the finish line, Adam just blasts by Kevin and I and wins. Yeah. And he goes, "Okay, I'm going to bed." Right? And we're just like, "But wait, this is our first time playing as a team, playing any video game." And
I'm undefeated, am I not? Am I undefeated?
He chooses not to race.
He chooses not to race.
I have challenged you all, and I will beat you again. But yeah, currently undefeated. I am one.
That was at Netflix, almost a year ago.
0
Yeah.
forever.
There is also another
be training
Amazon-
for Mario Kart.
We gotta get Max in there
Yeah,
Team meetings in Mario Kart. Remember that?
in game chat. Right.
Yeah, good shot.
But there is also another Amazon TV series, as
Tell us.
Matt alluded to.
This one is even newer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. Go for it.
So basically, Amazon, which seems to be taking on everything at the moment, they did Fallout. They're also going to be doing a Tomb Raider live action series, and it stars Sophie Turner. There she is,
I know.
as Lara Croft. If you know her probably best from Game of Thrones, she played Sansa Stark. She was very good as that. And again, like I mentioned, video game commenters and fans are quite tribal and divisive. But I will say, from what I've seen, is the first picture of Sophie Turner as Lara Croft, as you can see there, has gone down very well because it is being modeled on her classic early PlayStation design. She's got the twin pistols. She's got the archaeologist approved short shorts on. And she's also got the cool red circular shades. So it's a good time for Tomb Raider fans. We're also going to get 2 new Tomb Raider games. One this year, Legacy of Atlantis, which is a remake of the first game. So it's good timing. And then next year, we get Tomb Raider Catalyst, which is a brand new game in 2027. So if you like Tomb Raider,
Fine.
it's a great
Tomb Raider.
time. So we'll have Angelina Jolie as the first Tomb Raider. We then had Alicia Vikander as the second Tomb Raider. And now we have Sophie Turner.
There we go.
Choose your favorite.
I think it's very interesting that these are series and TV series and instead of like one-off movies. I think there's more to explore there than there would, character development than there would be in a 2-hour movie. So I think that's a big positive. And yeah, she kind of fits that mold. Sansa Stark makes sense.
It's
Will she
wild
be able to lock the butler in the freezer, though? I'd like to see that in the TV series.
Right. So when does that come out? Is that this year or next year?
I don't think it's got a date yet. I think they've literally just kind of revealed some of the cast. I think, it's early stage. I'm going to guess next year.
Okay.
You know what these things are like. It's impossible to pin down most TV shows with
It's not
things
like
that. But
it's not like release dates for tech or video games where you have it
no,
years in advance sometimes.
yeah.
Very cool. Staying on the trend of movies, we saw this headline, how Netflix is dumbing down movies. And maybe you agree, maybe you don't. But have you noticed that Netflix shows, they often repeat the plot to tell you about what's happening in the movie over and over again because you're probably paying attention to the phone, your phone at that time. So this was kind of revealed by Matt Damon on the Joe Rogan podcast. Matt Damon is the first person to say this, but he's someone with a lot of authority that if he's saying it and Netflix, according to him, is directly telling him that, their new movie, The Rip, which is currently streaming on Netflix, needs to or should, they were, tipping him off that you need to kind of speak about the plot and where the story is going multiple times because people are on their phones and they find that very helpful. It's kind of a way where it's changing how movies are scripted and directed and just how we're all taking in movies. Like streaming has changed movies, not just you're not going to the theater anymore. It's changing the dialogue tremendously. And I've noticed that in some of the shows that I watch and the movies that we watch. But it's just interesting to see someone notable say that out loud and kind of like revealing the secret sauce behind some of Netflix's shows.
Yeah.
You guys notice this?
No, for sure. Like I feel like so much of Netflix's content nowadays is just like background noise.
Yeah.
Like unless it's something like Stranger Things, where like they have like such a loyal fan base and they have people like eagerly looking for Easter eggs and stuff like that. If they're just making a movie that like doesn't live in some universe somewhere, that isn't tied to like some other project, that doesn't have an enthusiastic fan base around, they're just like, okay, we have to over explain this whole situation for people because they're just going to go on their phones.
Well, I never watched Stranger Things, but I watched the first season recently. It's very slow, methodical, plotting. There's a lot of silent scenes. Not a lot of people talking about the plot. And then I watched some clips of the latest season, and
Yeah,
it's just like
about the
Vinka's
plot.
doing this. He's got only the heart or whatever. I don't know.
100%.
The weird thing he said. Yeah.
Stranger Things has this habit, which everyone's cottoned onto, especially in this news, where it's like, this is Vecna and this is blah. And if we go like this, and they do it, when you actually notice the amount of times they do that, it's all the time. So I think that's definitely like an example of dumbing down, just to really like, hammer home what they're going to do. I definitely, it's interesting because Ben Affleck, who was also on the Joe Rogan podcast, who's Matt Damon's co-star in The Rip, he basically said, he's kind of pushing against it and said, there's been shows that have shown that you don't need to just hammer the audience with the plot early. For example, nowadays, Luke's hand would probably be cut off by Darth Vader in the first 5 minutes because you have to bring action scenes forward and all the rest of it. But it's going that way, isn't it? It's going that way. It's very easy just to put something on in the background and zone. I mean, I even put stuff on the background. I put on my X-Real glasses and Steam Deck, and then I have the electrochromatic dimming down, and then I'm looking. It's horrible. I'm consuming too much content, and then I'm just watching Netflix from a side eye. So I'm definitely guilty of. Yeah, it's bad, Kevin. I know it's bad, but
That's my question. Is it Netflix doing this, or
it's us.
am I, because Netflix is shows?
Are you dumb?
Have
You're
this.
going to ask, are you dumb?
No.
Netflix needs to-
Again, Snippy today.
What are you talking about?
He's overtired.
He didn't get his bedtime.
My question is, I don't watch movies like that normally, right? But if movies are going to be dumbed down and I put on The Rip, am I just going to go, yeah, they already explained this multiple times, and then I just pick up my phone because of this? So it's like,
That's true.
what comes first, the chicken or the egg type of situation for me, because I like to get engrossed in movies. I like to put on movies and just like turn out the lights and
Yeah, I agree.
it
I'm
might
surprised.
price more.
I'm surprised it didn't bring up the length of movies. That's the thing that kills me at the moment. Like every film nowadays seems to like push well into over 2 and a bit hours, and it's just like
A lot.
it never used to be the case. So clearly, if we all have reduced attention spans, which we do, why are movies getting longer and longer, which we just can't sustain? It's mainly because they just mess around, and then right at the end they try and cram it all in and flop the landing, in my opinion.
Well, we want to hear all of your comments about this. So our biggest streaming platform is, of course, Twitter, X. Leave some comments there. Instagram, we're live there. YouTube. So drop some comments. And
Pino is listening to us in the background right now.
in the background, while he works at Tom's Guide.
Yes.
Um,
He's
what-
getting all the scoops for us.
That's
really.
right. Yeah. Nick, thank you for watching the live show.
Yeah, Nick.
Fun to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see that name.
And then feels like Lawrence says, Matt, you helped me get a PS5 4 years ago. Thanks, man. Thanks for tuning in. I see you on Instagram. Appreciate that. The OGs of
They are the OGs.
right?
Shortcut.
4 years ago. We are 4 years old now. So crazy.
That's mad.
Right? That's who would have thunk it, right? We're in this position that we're in, thanks to Sony's inability for getting PS5s to people. So fun times at Future.
Is that going to lead to our next story, Matt?
It will. Sony, yeah. So this is the breaking news that we kind of teased at the top. Sony is handing control of its Bravia TV business over to China's TCL. We like TCL TVs. It just none of us saw this coming this morning.
No.
They were, hauling stuff into the office today, as we will do every day for probably like the next 2 months. And we saw this breaking news. So like, got to change the show a little bit. Got to change the script. Sony is forming a strategic partnership with TCL and ceding its control of the Bravia TV brand, which, like growing up, Bravia Sony TVs were just the pinnacle of the TV experience. So it's kind of interesting to see that play out. Sony has taken a majority share, 51% stake, and TCL is retaining 49% share of this line. So Kevin, tell us about it, or Adam, who knows more about this, because this was such breaking news. Luckily, it went up. I clicked on the story; it was already up by the time we rolled into the office.
So basically, it sounds like Sony is more like seeding the Bravia line,
Right.
like the brand name to TCL, and TCL has always been looking for a sort of like a premium line. Like they have their X11, but that doesn't exactly roll off the tongue.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, to build that legendary brand, you know, TCL's been building a brand, but it's almost leapfrogging where it could be. And leapfrogging, importantly, Hisense and, you know, Roku and some of the, you know, lower tier players, they're inheriting this bigger brand. So that's kind of an interesting take.
Yeah. Here's the other thing. So the other side of it is Sony will gain TCL's manufacturing capabilities, basically, like partially,
Which is very robust, a lot more
yeah.
robust than people think.
Yeah.
TCL does have really strong display manufacturing. TCL does not have a foldable phone, but they kind of do.
Yeah.
So there's a couple years ago, maybe like 3 years ago, Techno, I did remember the name. I went to Mobile Congress. They were showing off a foldable phone, and lo and behold, someone whispered, "Yeah, that's actually made by TCL." They just don't have the market share in, you know, countries where Techno, a Chinese brand, that's like popular in Asia and the Middle East and places like that, has a market share. So Techno instead was bringing the foldable phone to other markets that TCL didn't want to risk being a part of. This kind of goes along those same lines where TCL is you know, taking over this big brands, and they're going to have more market share than they would have.
Yeah. So it's like kind of it's shocking to read this morning, but also it makes a lot of sense when you look at it because TCL is looking for a high-end Bravia line. Sony is looking to manufacture more TVs, and they've always had a struggle with creating more affordable TVs. Like it's hard to find a Bravia TV for less than $1,000, and that's where TCL is probably the strongest.
100%.
Like a $699, $799 TV.
So who are the losers in this deal? Is that LG and maybe, you know, Samsung, where, you know, it's almost like a merger of two brands on opposite sides, right? The more affordable and the more premium. And then I guess they're trying to outflank what Samsung is doing with their OLEDs and what LG is doing with their
RGB LED and stuff.
Right.
That's also another thing is like TCL hasn't gotten to micro RGB. Sony has, and I think that's also another strategic partnership there. Yeah,
there's going to be a lot of you know, a lot of mergers of technology that happen between these two brands because they are on opposite sides.
I think it makes sense for Sony as well. They've been streamlining or even discontinuing quite a few of their previous branches. I mean, we used to have laptops, the Vio series, the phones. They're still hanging on somehow. They still get the
Xperia phone.
Xperia, yeah. And you know, it's kind of it'll be good news, but it is kind of sad because, you know, even when I was growing up, there was so many Japanese TVs. We had Toshibas, we had Hitachis. Panasonic was a personal favorite of mine. Panasonic, again, are still going, but in a very much smaller capacity. Yeah. I still remember one of my plasmas, which I absolutely adored. And Pioneer was a big one. If you ever had a Pioneer back in the day, the Kuro line is legendary. I still remember when my dad brought that back and we just put Gladiator on in like 480p, but back then it looked like 8K. It was so good.
Wow, this is real life.
Yeah, so
I can feel the reeds.
Absolutely, yeah. So it makes sense for Sony. I think investors will be happy with it, like you say, because the two powers combined is a pretty, you know, intimidating prospect for their competitors like Samsung and LG. But there's a bit of sadness as well because yeah, there was a time when Bravia was the TV to have, and you would see it and be like, wow, the picture quality is great, it looks great, and yeah.
Sony loves using the term lens to living room, right? That's like a marketing term that we hear all the time from them because they film stuff with like Sony Pictures, and now they don't really have the living room portion as much because they're, you know, ceding some of the control from the TV line to TCL. What do they have left? Is it like audio products with like, they have great earbuds. They have some of the best over-the-ear headphones with the XM6s that we love so much. And then they have PlayStation. I think that's most of it. They don't have laptops anymore.
Yes,
Adam, you mentioned Vio. They sold that off years ago.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting.
They have like gaming peripherals in zone. Of course, they have externally from Sony Electronics. They have Sony Movies, Sony Music and Movies.
There are a lot of like strong businesses within Sony.
Yeah.
But I don't think Bravia has ever, you know, they certainly haven't performed in like probably the past 5 to 10 years the way that they wanted them to. I got to be honest, I'm not sure that there's like a winner or a loser in this situation.
Right.
At least for like right now, it's so hard to tell what's going to happen to Bravia TVs. Like nothing's supposed to like take effect until like April 2027 at the earliest. So we probably won't see anything at like CES until like 2028. But maybe I guess they could be working on the TV right now in like anticipation of that. But until that happens, I don't. It's so to me unclear as to like what exactly is going to happen to Bravia TVs. Right now, it just looks like there's going to be a TCL Bravia something. But
Yeah.
who's to say?
I'm curious Nick Pino's take on this. When he's able to come on the show, he'll be one of our first guests remotely. But yeah, he's a TV expert over there at Tom's Guide, friend of the show. I didn't get permission to call him friend of the show, but I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, definitely.
So last headline that came across our desk this week on theshortcut.com. Please subscribe on our Substack. It is the largest consumer tech Substack out there. This is the X Real 1 Pro and the one, Adam, you have this headset. This kind of explain what it is for people who don't know what X Real is and what the latest news is coming up in 3 days.
So basically, as you can see here, the X Real 1 Pro are one of the models from X Real of a line of AR glasses. If you've never used AR glasses, think of it as like having an extra portable monitor or a bigger screen, a floating screen that you can just pop on your face. You can position it around, you can anchor it, you can even have it follow your head with certain glasses, and you can play on a massive screen. Now, I've been a fan of this technology for years. I was lucky enough to get, I think it was a Sony HMZ headset back in the day. If anyone remembers that, I managed to get one, a closing down sale at a Sony store in the UK. And it's still the same concept. It's having a huge virtual screen in front of you. You can watch movies, you can play games. And when you get the sweet spot just right, which has massively improved back from those days, it's less goggle fish lens effect like you used to have. It's super immersive. I've been playing a lot of Steam Deck that way. You can plug in, if you've got a USB-C cable, you go straight in. Some devices like the Switch 2 need a special like adapter or external power brick that can decode the signal, but it's pretty plug in and play, and it works great. What's really cool, and again, I'm showing my age, is they're bringing Real 3D, which is the flagship feature of the new X Real 1S, to the Pro and the X Real 1, which are the older models, which is really nice. It's just going to be a software update on January 23rd. And what this does is all on device. So unlike rival products where you need software, which can complicate things, it's powered by the X1 chip inside the glasses. You'll be able to plug in your favorite content and it will take 2D and make it into 3D. Now, it's not going to look as incredible or eye-popping as if you go see Avatar in the cinema and put on the glasses, but I have tried it on rival products, and I can tell you it's novel and it's kind of nice, and I like it, and I'm really looking forward to trying out with games. And the fact that it's free for existing owners, I just think is really cool. Good news on that. They're doing a $50 off sale at the moment on the X Real 1 Pros to mark this update. So if you want to get a pair, now is the time. I like them. I really like them. I don't like them as much for productivity. I know that's another selling point, but because the resolution's only 1080p, it's a little bit grainy for me. I think when we get up to a higher res, that'll really come alive. But if you don't want to have an Apple Vision Pro on your head, you're not a big fan of the Meta Quest 3, AR glasses are the way to go. And for me, personally, I think that's the next evolution in the tech is a pair of glasses you put on and off you go.
Totally. I think the Meta Ray-Bans that we have, and we kind of mentioned this at CES, are very cool. They have a camera in them. They don't have a display on this version. That's the $800 version. But the Apple Vision Pro is over-engineered, and I mean that as a compliment.
Yeah.
Eventually, this technology will get into that form factor where it looks like the Meta Ray-Bans, but it has more of a robust display, akin to, not quite on the level of, the Apple Vision Pro. So we're just not there yet. I think Xreal and Ray Neo, which is a TCL brand, they're kind of coming from the middle and trying to do some of the novel things that we'll see from Apple and Meta in the future. So super cool that we're seeing that. With that, we're going to wrap up the show. But again, we're building out the studio at our office. And yeah, the Shortcut will be live. It's a daily live video show. Think of it as like a shopping channel from the cable news era, streaming on multiple platforms. So it's that kind of shopping channel for a modern generation. And we'll show off products, kind of like Kevin showed off some products, Mac showed off some products. We're going to have guests as the week goes on, but we're going to get rid of that echo. We're going to build out this podcast studio, and we're right in the heart of Manhattan. So we're if you're a member of the tech media or a founder or someone showing off product, come visit us. You won't be disappointed. And yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you for the comments, and we'll be back tomorrow with another hour-long show. And yeah, thanks guys. Got lots more tech.
Yeah.
Main character energy is all about technology. All right, everybody. Bye-bye.
See ya.